I'm Trent, and this is Vision Preparedness. Hello folks, Vision Preparedness. Welcome to day 12 of the 30-day Preparedness Collab by YouTube Preppers. You'll notice down in the description, there's a complete list of all the preppers on YouTube that are participating in this 30 days of preparedness. Today, my topic is the top 10 first aid skills you should have. This is all based on TCCC, Tactical Combat Casualty Care. I'm going to recommend a lot of stuff. First of all, I will say this. Here's my disclaimer. Get medical, personal training on any of these items to use. I highly recommend everybody should take a Stop the Bleed course and a basic CPR or CPR AED course to be sure. So, top 10, number 1, how to stop bleeding. There's 3 different types of bleeding. We have capillary, which is a basic cut, put some pressure on it, put a Band-Aid on it, you're good to go. Then you've got venous and arterial bleeding. Normally, arterial bleeding, you're going to need to use a tourniquet. I highly recommend that you have 1 tourniquet per family member in your first aid kit. Again, 1 tourniquet per each member of your family. Take it out of the packaging. Take it out of the plastic wrap. Plastic is only for shipping purposes. And again, get proper training on how to use a tourniquet. I recommend either using a cat tourniquet or using a soft T tourniquet. So with bleeding, massive bleeding, once you have applied a tourniquet to stop the bleeding, then you could use quick clot, you can use compressed gauze, you can use pressure bandages to secure it and begin to treat the bleed. You can use gauze, and again, you can have multiple gauze sizes. I highly recommend having as many gauze as you desire. And that way, you'll never run out of gauze. Number 2 on the list, how to clean and dress a wound. You want to use some type of antiseptic alcohol wipe. You can also use saline solution, sterile water, bottled water to clean the wound. Then you can use sterile gauze pads to dress the wound or non-adherent pads so it doesn't stick to the wound. And then you can dress the wound with regular bandages, self-adhering bandages. You can even use compressed gauze. You can even use an Israeli bandage if necessary. Number 3, how to treat a fever. We all know when we get sick, we get the flu. We've heard feed a fever, starve a cold, or vice versa. First of all, you want to get plenty of rest. Normally with a fever, there could be some possibilities of dehydration, So you want to make sure that you drink plenty of fluids to help flush out any germs or bacteria in the body. Also, if the fever is caused by some type of bacterial infection, you may also need to take antibiotics to help break that fever as the person rests as well. From there, number 4 on the list is choking. Make sure you get proper training in the Heimlich maneuver, not only for adults, but also for infants. Your local Red Cross, fire department, EMS, they all have first aid classes, Heimlich maneuver, as well as stop the bleed and how to apply tourniquets correctly. Make sure you do that. Number 5, CPR. Please, folks, take a CPR course. There's a lot of things that have changed in the recent years where now they focus basically on chest compressions because the whole goal of CPR is to keep the heart pumping blood. So we need to make sure how to apply and administer CPR correctly. You may crack a rib, but the goal is to keep the heart pumping. Make sure you get adequate training. Number 7 on the list is how to make a splint. With that, you can use a SAM splint in most cases, which will mold to the broken extremity that then you can wrap with gauze, pressure bandage, self-adhering bandages to stabilize the broken extremity. With that, number 8 on the list is how to treat hypothermia. Mild hypothermia, as we all know, for those of us that live in states where it gets cold in the wintertime, we'd be playing in the snow, come in the house, our hands are numb, fingers are numb, can't feel too much. That's mild hypothermia. With that, you basically want to warm up. You can wrap in a blanket, you can drink warm coffee, warm tea, and until the body begins to adhere and your body heat begins to warm up your extremities. With severe hypothermia, you want to wrap the person in a blanket. You can use emergency rescue blankets. We all know that these reflect 90% of the person's body heat back into them so that they begin to warm up slowly. Lay them down, secure them, wrap in an emergency blanket, other blankets if you have them. Keep them warm at all times. With severe hypothermia, never put the patient or the victim in a hot tub because that possibly could cause the capillaries in the skin to burst. Number 9 on the list, how to treat diarrhea and vomiting. There's plenty of over-the-counter drugs to help deal with diarrhea and vomiting. You can also, for vomiting, you can give the patient crackers slowly, let them eat. With diarrhea, you also want to keep an eye out for dehydration. So you want to give them dehydration salts, anything with electrolytes, because as they're having diarrhea, they're also going to be losing a lot of fluids. So you want to make sure, folks, that the person stays hydrated. And number 10 on the list, folks, and this to me is the second most important first aid skill to have, and that is the right mindset. What is your mindset in an emergency of an injured victim? Do not panic. Know the skill set that you have and keep the patient calm always. And one thing I will recommend, and we all know about this, is the Survival Medical Book by Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy. Pick up a copy. You can buy them on Amazon. You can get them just about anywhere. With that, folks, I would like to thank Rogue Preparedness for inviting me to participate in the 30 Days of Preparedness Collab. Once again, in the description are a list of all the collaborators that are participating in the 30 Days of Preparedness here on YouTube. Again, this is Vision Preparedness. And remember, keep prepping. Your family depends on you, and it depends on your life. God bless, and everybody take care.